Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Friends, good news. It's time for some Saturday morning React Tunes. This time featuring Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 14, The Slaver Weapon. Nothing to it but to do it, friends. Before we get started, though, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Somehow I found my way onto the 10K mark, so any and every sub is greatly appreciated, my friends. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time for Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 14, The Slaver Weapon. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Tell us about the final frontier, Jim. I've forgotten. My Swiss cheese brain, damn you. I love the original series of Star Trek so much. I miss it to the core of my being. I drink out of my plum mug almost every morning. I have no other place to drink from it anymore. The Slaver Weapon, written by Larry Niven. Alrighty. What do you got for us, Larry?
The Enterprise shuttlecraft Copernicus is en route to Starbase 25.
Oh, look at that.
A slaver stasis box discovered by archaeologists on the planet Kazin. Time stands still inside a stasis box. 1 billion years means nothing in there.
Oh, wow.
Are the stasis boxes the only source of information we have?
The slavers and all their subjects were exterminated in the war that followed. Intelligent life had to evolve all over again.
Wow.
Are the only remnant of those lost civilizations.
That's a pretty significant lore dump.
Why is it glowing like that?
There's something in it.
Most peculiar.
It's like it's being drawn.
This indicates there is another stasis box circling Beta Lyrae.
Maybe no one else was carrying a stasis box detector.
Possible. The only known stasis box detector is another stasis box.
How's that for convenience? I like everything about that shuttle except for the little dish on the nose.
Of a species which ruled most of this galaxy 1 billion years ago. Their effect on science has been incalculable.
That's all right.
Another box contained a disruptor bomb with the pin pulled. As a result, all stasis boxes are now under the jurisdiction of Starfleet.
Really? So nobody else can open them?
If it takes a stasis box to find another stasis box, how did anyone ever find the first one?
As with a number of discoveries, purely by accident.
Yeah, I stumbled upon it.
In this low pressure, the ice should boil as soon as the phase is melted.
Meanwhile... Oh! Well, I'm assuming that's all stun. Otherwise, the episode's over. Continuity's changed.
Instead of being warned by the highly unlikely coincidence of a second stasis box, I allowed its possible value to influence my judgment. The Kazindi now possess our stasis box.
Kazindi. I think I knew them.
Where are we?
A Kazindi spacecraft.
That isn't good. Kazinti aren't supposed to have phasers, are they?
Kazinti. Okay.
A police web. We won't be able to move unless we can turn it off somehow.
So these are like cosmic cops? They're wearing badges of sorts, it looks like.
The lean, bedraggled one is a reader of minds.
I've heard all Gazenti telepaths are unhappy neurotics.
He's not likely to deal with me or Lieutenant Uhura. She and I are inferior beings to them. But the Kazindi are meat eaters. If you sense him reading your mind, think of eating a raw vegetable. Try to look harmless.
Any special reason?
Are you forgetting Kazindi females are dumb animals? In an emergency, the Kazindi may forget a human female is an intelligent creature.
Oh, okay. Wondering what that comment was for.
But we may be able to seize an opportunity to escape if the Kazindi believe you have none.
Why would Spock be considered inferior then?
You're a Vulcan. I feel no pressing need to talk to an eater of roots and leaves.
Okay.
I am Chuffed Captain. You are prisoners aboard the privateer Traitor's Claw.
Privateer.
Kazinti archaeologists found both boxes, but the one we managed to keep was empty. It served us well as bait to draw you here, but the slavers had weapons that could devastate a galaxy.
The Kazenti fought 4 wars with humankind and lost all of them.
Really?
Always you have had superior equipment. We seek a weapon that will defeat you at last.
Then you're really working for the Kazenti government.
If we are captured, the highest of Kazin will repudiate us. But if we succeed, you are meat for our tables.
Saturday morning cartoons, everybody. The threat of cannibalism, sort of.
Could that be a picture of a slaver?
If so, it is the first ever discovered.
Really?
Nothing like this has ever been found. We are the only ones who have it. Look at it, human. This weapon may well mean the end of mankind.
You are assuming it's a weapon. I'm not convinced that that's not a real slaver that they somehow put onto a piece of paper and that little gun will, like, bring him to life. Maybe. So wrong. I know I'm wrong, but...
Have the humans move to the surface and be sure they're secured in the police web. We will use them to test the weapon.
Okay.
Surely you would not force me to delve such mines.
If it is necessary. I realize the time you need.
The pupils. Well, I guess we'll willingly walk onto this.
Perhaps the toggle.
Here we go. It changed. Cool shot.
He is too alien. He makes me taste yellow root munched between flat teeth.
Be glad if you need not read the Vulcan's mind.
That's interesting. It's like so disgusting to them. Great shot.
It is of no use to us. We already have small telescopes.
Well, it can turn into a bunch of different things, so...
I give you credit, human. You are not afraid to die.
I actually like this group. Oh, well, see ya. She got knocked out of the web.
Telepath suit is ruptured. Never mind that. The female is escaping. What of it? Fool! Human females are intelligent.
Oh, really? Now we figured that out.
Telepath suit lost considerable pressure. We reached the ship in time to save him.
Good. We will need him later.
I like the markings around their eyes.
Nice try.
I'm slowing down. I used to run the 100 in a record time. How long was I out?
8 days.
No obvious way to aim it.
Mr. Spock.
It's an EMP.
The police web is off.
The 5th setting seems to be an energy absorber.
Or energy absorber, sure.
I had no idea the slavers had such things.
Mr. Spock, we...
Yes.
Why didn't it do their belts?
Make for the shuttle. Remember to zigzag.
Serpentine! Serpentine! Oh! Shit! Spock is like, nope, I'm taking this with us. Serpentine! Oh my god, they got Uhura again. Spock, right? Yep.
I have the weapon.
They've got Uhura and subspace radio. They can call for help from the Kazin planet if they think the weapon's worth it.
No.
They're disavowed.
Shuffed Captain has been attacked by an herbivorous pacifist, an eater of leaves and roots, one who traditionally does not fight.
So it's an honor thing now?
Shuffed Captain's honor is at stake. He must seek personal revenge before he can call for help.
That gives us some time.
This is a really cool species.
But I have a feeling, Mr. Spock, this weapon must have belonged to a spy, an espionage agent.
I acknowledge your expertise in the field of weapons, Mr. Sulu.
Only the laser is effective. The others aren't necessary for the line soldier's one purpose, to destroy the enemy.
Assuming it's a spy weapon, then. There is the null setting. It seems to do nothing. But why should it be there?
It may be the key to another setting.
Looks like a rattle.
We have the female prisoner. Will you bargain, or must we take harsh action? It will not be pleasant for her.
Saturday morning cartoons, everybody.
What about Mr. Spock?
He must surrender. I will offer him single combat.
Not interested.
I am as the falcon left me, with 2 ribs broken.
Oh, wow.
I compute the odds of my defeating Shuft Captain in combat at 16 to 1 against.
Really?
They think very little of you.
Wrong. They don't think much of you.
Wow.
We can't give him that.
Sweet Jesus.
Total conversion of matter to energy at a distance.
If the Kazenti had that, the whole galaxy would be their dinner table. Hit the dirt!
Incoming atomic shockwave. I now see why there are specialists for the slaver boxes. They'll just randomly, like, I just do the dial and shoot. Pull triggers, push buttons. Oh, and we're all back.
What would this be?
I have no idea.
It's a watermelon.
The Kazindi have legends of weapons haunted by their owners.
Really?
What is the last thing you remember?
We were on a mission. I may not tell you of it unless you know certain code words.
It's a total conversion beam. We saw it. Tell us how to find it.
Twist my widdershins until you reach the null position.
Yeah, but they don't use the code words. Whoa, what's that?
That was not the total conversion beam setting.
It certainly was not.
Assume you are a slaver war computer. You've been turned off. You do not know for how long. But when you were turned off, there was a war on.
It's gonna blow up.
Your owner is nowhere about. What would you think?
I think I'd been captured by the enemy.
And when they asked you how to find your most powerful weapon setting, what would you give them?
Self-destruct. Boom. Wow. Dear God.
No sign of the weapon, of course. It would have looked nice in some museum.
Really?
There was too much power in that one setting.
Yep.
Didn't you say the Kazenti have legends of weapons haunted by their dead owners?
Yes. An ancient superstition.
At this rate, they'll never get over those old superstitions.
Is that our leave line? Guess so. All right, everybody, we just finished watching Star Trek, the animated series, Season 1, Episode 14, The Slaver Weapon, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the 14th episode of the first season of Star Trek, the animated series, entitled The Slaver Weapon. I actually really liked this one because there's a couple things I liked and a couple things that, again, it seems to be the running theme for the animated series that, each of these scripts, they needed more time, it seems. And while it makes for an interesting little kind of like a bite-sized Trek, like we always say, you think to yourself, my gosh, this was a rich, kind of like a really rich lore dump with a couple of these things that would have been really interesting to see fleshed out a little bit. I mean, I like hearing about like the slavers or whatever the race was actually called, that, what did they say, a billion years ago was, just took over the galaxy, and then there was a revolt and they were all wiped out. That's a pretty major bit of like galactic history. I think, again, with the weapon itself being, this artifact, I think there's way more that they could have gone into, the researching of it, really kind of figuring out what each of these kind of settings were called, just learning more about the slavers, or again, whatever the name of that race was, as a society, what their motivations were. There's a lot of stuff that could have really been, really, really fleshed out. But again, they just don't have the time for any of that. So it's got to be a very overt problem that needs to be overcome. And in this case, the capture. Now, with the Kazindi, I really like that group. I think that they possess something that, again, live action would be very difficult with this group of aliens as far as costuming, making them look realistic and things. And many ways, with the exception of, the meat-eating aspect of their culture, it seems to me that a lot of kind of like the honorifics, I've been dishonored. I need to fight. I fight to the death with Spock and the captain. I'm left. I haven't healed myself. I'm still hurt, so I can fight you, and it would be fair. My honor still. That to me seems like what the very little I know about sort of the modern Klingon, like after the original series. I wonder if they incorporated some of that, because you all have told me. See, when again, just to recap real quickly, the first thing I ever saw in Star Trek of anything ever was Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. I saw Wrath of Khan several times, and each of the other movies once, with the exception of the Next Generation movie that has F. Murray Abraham in it. And I don't know what that one is. I haven't seen that one. The rest of the movies I have seen, though. So that's where I get all of my knowledge. That Picard season 3, there's a lot of I have very, very little information about some of these things. Now, with the Klingons, I do know that, they get an appearance change from the original series into, because Star Trek 3, they're in there. They get the ridges, and they kind of form the more militaristic, more honor-driven, type of situation that we have. And I'm wondering, because that just seems like, from what I've seen so far, going through like the original series and this far through the animated series, the Klingons aren't really honor driven. They're tactical. They're very kind of I don't want to say shrewd, but they are. They're awesome adversaries, my favorites. I love them in the Romulans so much, but in many ways I feel, and I think you all kind of said something like this too, that the TOS Klingons and Romulans are pretty close to the same type of enemy. And so the Klingons, I don't know why they were ever kind of changed or converted into what we have now. But, again, I'm just wondering if part of all of this, if the Kzinti sort of honor stuff was hey, you know what, we can't use the Kzinti, but maybe we can fold that into the new Klingons. I'm wondering. I mean, it's a broad enough type, honor for honor's sake. It's a broad enough topic that it could be easily with both cultures and everything. I just find it curious, something that, might have explained a little bit more about that conversion, which I kind of find jarring, you know what I mean? As far as what the Klingons were originally identified as or conceived as or constructed as in the original series, and to what they ultimately become. I mean, I understand, makeup gets better, stuff like that, but at the same time, it's a pretty big change. No, but yeah, again, more time would have been great, but this was a cool episode. And 2, we only had 3 of our cast members, or 3 of our crew members, I should say, on here. We know no Jim, no Bones. I like that quite a bit. No Enterprise. I think this is the first animated series episode without any shot of the Enterprise. I think it is, because all we had was the Copernicus in this. I don't think we had any shots of the Enterprise, and I know we didn't have any shots of the Enterprise in this episode. I'm wondering, I don't think we've had another episode that failed to have the Enterprise, visibly portrayed in it. So that was interesting too. And again, it was a kind of a cool situation. They they kind of made some, leaps with their logic, so to speak, about how this would work, assumptions that proved to be correct. But again, these are corners you have to cut with such a short period of time. I am incredibly greedy, though, and I would have liked to have seen this fleshed out a little bit more. What do you all think? I mean, I think that's just pretty much the running thing for the animated series. It's just you want more of the topic. I thought it was a good topic. I thought it would have made a really strong live-action episode, too, especially introducing the Kzinti, which could be a very formidable adversary, especially since they said 100 years prior there was 4 wars between Earth and the Kzinti. I've never heard mention of that before. I don't believe I have, but 100 years back, would that have been around Archer? See, I don't know my timelines real well. Help me out there, friends. If you know, would that have been during the time of Archer? Because that'd be something, I know that with the Zindi or whatever they were, it's kind of similar to Kzinti, but at the same time, I'm very curious if is that the same time frame? Another strong episode, I thought, enjoyable to say the least, with some and this one's winning factor for me was, we had some interesting shots. I liked some of the shots that they took, but the lore dump was really good with both the Kzinti and whoever the slavers were. That was a really interesting, quite a profound kind of bit of information to give us. So with that, I think episode 14, The Slaver Weapon, was a hit. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for some Saturday morning Reactoons. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time for us to say goodbye from this episode. So I was thinking about where should we say goodbye from this episode of the animated series. And friends, I decided this. We are part of the crew of the Enterprise. We always have been. We don't get as much screen time as I would like, but we have been sent out because they have found yet another slaver box. And when we discover it and when we find it, it's already open. So friends, as we sit there and there's no way to not look inside, as we creep up towards this glowing box and we see that the seal has been broken, revealing 2 or 3 inches of open space, when we peer inside, what do we see? Friends, I leave it to you. Until such time as we can watch another one of these fantastic little bite-sized treks, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.